عن أبي هريرة رضي الله عنه, on the authority of Abu Hurairah, may Allah be pleased with him, أنه سمع رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, that he heard the Messenger of Allah صلى الله عليه وسلم يقول, is saying, ما أذن الله لشيء ما أذن لنبي حسن الصوت يتغنى بالقرآن يجهر به متفق عليه. Allah does not listen to anything as he does to the beautiful voice of a prophet reciting the Quran aloud pleasantly. Agreed upon, collected by Bukhari and Muslim. Now, from the benefits of this hadith, the authors, they state, حسن الصوت نعمة وفضل من الله وأعظم صور شكرها التغني بالقرآن. That having a beautiful voice is a blessing in favor from Allah. And one of the greatest forms of gratitude for this blessing is to recite the Quran in a melodious tone. Now, not to sing the Quran, that's an incorrect translation, but to recite it in a melodious tone. Now, because the Prophet of Allah, as we can see in this hadith, encourages the recital of the Quran with a beautiful voice. Also, we have other narrations where he encourages the same. Like, for example, زَيِّنُوا الْقُرْآنَ بِأَصْوَاتِكُمْ. Beautify the Quran with your voices. Beautify the Quran with your voices. Bismillah. Now, that is a command. And we should understand that whenever we beautify our voices with the Quran, then that is by adhering to the rules of tajweed, as well as makharij huruf. And one does not exceed the rules of at-tajweed. Anything exceeding the rules of tajweed is considered to be extremism, and they're not beautifying the Quran. Also, when someone beautifies their voice with reciting the Quran, it does not mean they're showing off. Rather, beautifying one's voice is complying to the command of the Messenger ﷺ. He said, زَيِّنُوا الْقُرْآنَ بِأَصْوَاتِكُمْ. Beautify the Quran with your voices. So they're actually receiving reward by complying to that command. And also, we have instances where the Sahaba radiallahu anhum would intentionally beautify their voices when reciting the Quran. Like, for example, Abu Musa al-Ash'ari. One night he was reciting the Quran, and it's mentioned that Nisa'un Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam yastami'na, that the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam were listening to him, and even the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam was listening to him. At the end of his recital, he said, Abu Musa said to the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam when he saw him and he met him, he said, لو علمت لحبرت تحبيرا ولا شوقت تشويقا. That if I had knew that you all were listening, I would have beautified my voice even more. Subhanallah. I would have beautified my voice even more. Now, so do we say that Abu Musa would have showed off? La, that's not befitting. And the Prophet of Allah did not ankara alayhi, yani he did not say that this is a wrong action to beautify one's voice. In fact, it's understood that the Prophet of Allah recited in a beautified voice as well. Now, and no one recited the Quran more beautiful than the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Umar, during his khilafah, is mentioned by Ibn Hajar in Fath al-Bari that كان عمر يقدم الشاب الحسن الصوت لحسن صوته بين يدي القوم. That even Umar would make a young boy who had a beautiful recital, he will make him lead them in salah. He will make him lead them in salah because of his beautiful recital. Now, however, it should be noted that if a person wants to beautify the Quran with their voices, then their intention should be for the sake of Allah, complying to the commandment of the Messenger ﷺ, and wanting to affect the hearts of others, drawing them closer to Allah's speech. That should be their intention. As for beautifying your voice for the sake of obtaining others' praise, for people to say, MashaAllah, your voice is wonderful, your recital is beautiful, then this is considered to be riyah, showing off. If their intention from the onset is to obtain the praises of others, or even while they're reciting to obtain the praises of others, then that's considered to be riyah. However, if they beautify their voices in order to beautify the Quran, because it's a command of the Prophet ﷺ, and they want to draw people closer to the Book of Allah, then they are rewarded for that intention. وَإِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ, and all actions are based off of their intentions. وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى, and everyone will obtain what they intended. Everyone understand this? Is this clear? طيب. For this reason, barakallahu feekum, this is an extremely important point. We should never, ever judge someone's intention when they perform a good deed. We should never accuse a person of showing off. And that, in fact, accusing someone of showing off is a major sin in Islam. Why is that? 3 points. One, this is mentioned by our mashaykh. The first is that riyah, showing off, and ikhlas, sincerity, are actions of the heart. And no one knows of it except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. To accuse someone of showing off is claiming knowledge of the unseen. Subhanallah bihamdi. And our scholars, they say, La ya'lamul qulub illa allamul ghuyub. And no one knows the realities of the hearts except for Allah Azza wa Jal, the knower of the unseen. Tayyib, this is the first point. Why we should not ever accuse anyone of showing off. Secondly, accusing someone of showing off is having bad thoughts of your Muslim brother or sister. You're having bad thoughts of your Muslim brother or sister, which is a sin. Third, you're accusing them of falling into sin. May Allah protect us all. So, if you feel like someone is showing off, seek refuge in Allah. Say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim. And know that this is from the whispers of shaitan. And instead, what you should do is make dua for them. Oh Allah, make them sincere. Oh Allah, accept their acts of worship. And also remind yourself, and perhaps remind them, Ya Allah, may Allah accept it from us. MashaAllah, brother, you have a beautiful recital. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept it from you. A simple statement like that reminds a person to renew their intentions.